Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Sports Central. Today, we're going to be grading every NFL head coaching hire from this head coaching cycle. So, diving right in, beginning with the Patriots who hired Mike Vrabel. And this move is getting an A+. The Patriots, they had a very weird situation with their coach because last year they promoted Gerard Mayo without really doing a head coaching search because it was apparently written into his contract that he had to be the guy to follow Bill Belichick. But it never felt like Gerard Mayo was, quote, their guy. They fired Gerard Mayo after one season, and now it seems like they have their guy in Mike Vrabel. But this is a great move to hire Mike Vrabel. He played for the Patriots from 2001 to 2008, and during that time he won 3 Super Bowls. Plus, Mike Vrabel has shown he can be a great coach, as when he was head coach of the Titans from 2018 to 2023, he went 54 and 45, made the playoffs 3 times, won the AFC South twice. He also took the Titans to the AFC Championship game in 2019, got the top seed in the AFC in 2021, and won Coach of the Year in 2021. And to make all those accomplishments even more impressive, he did it with Marcus Mariota and Ryan Tannehill as his starting quarterbacks. But Mike Vrabel, a great coach, great move for the Patriots to hire him, home run move for the Patriots, they get an A+. Moving on to the Bears, who hired Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. So this is another home run hire, and another hire I'm going to give an A+. The Bears, they needed an offensive-minded coach to help develop Caleb Williams, and they went out and hired arguably the best offensive coordinator in the NFL in Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, he's been the Lions offensive coordinator for the past 3 seasons, and he did a great job. During that 3-year span, the Lions were scoring 29 points per game, which is best in the NFL during that stretch. And in his 3 years as Lions OC, they've had a top 5 offense in terms of yards per game and points per game every season. Now, Ben Johnson has never been a head coach, so there is a chance he's terrible, but I think this is a great hire for the Bears. They get a young offensive-minded head coach to pair with Caleb Williams, and they can A+. Moving on to the Jets, who hired Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn. This is another move I really like, and this is getting an A-. Similar to Mike Vrabel and the Patriots, Aaron Glenn actually used to play for the Jets, as the Jets actually drafted him 12th overall back in the 1994 draft, and Aaron Glenn played for the Jets from 1994 to 2001. Now, he's been the Lions defensive coordinator for the past 4 seasons, and he's done a great job. The Lions defense doesn't have the best numbers under Aaron Glenn, although they have improved in pretty much every major defensive stat each season. And this past year, I think, shows just how good of a coach Aaron Glenn really is, because the Lions, they had a ton of defensive injuries, yet they still finished with a top 10 score in defense. Aaron Glenn is a great hire for the Jets. He's a coach, he's going to set a great team culture, which is something the Jets desperately need. And he's another first-time head coach, but I still really like the hire for the Jets, and I'm giving Aaron Glenn an A-. Moving on to the Jaguars, who hired Buccaneers offensive coordinator Liam Cohen. This is getting a B. So the hiring process for the Jaguars was very interesting, because they had some other candidates they were trying to hire, but they didn't want to go to Jacksonville because of general manager Trent Baalke. Liam Cohen then said the exact same thing and agreed to an extension with the Buccaneers, but the Jaguars then realized that Trent Baalke was awful and they fired him, and Liam Cohen changed his mind and decided to become Jaguars head coach. But this is a solid move for the Jaguars. Liam Cohen was the Buccaneers offensive coordinator this past season, and he led a great Buccaneers offense, which they were top 5 in yards per game, points per game, rushing yards per game, and passing yards per game. And Liam Cohen also helped Baker Mayfield have the best season of his career. So I guess there's a chance he can help Trevor Lawrence do the exact same thing. Now Cohen, another coach this cycle who has 0 head coaching experience, and I still think this could be a pretty good move for the Jaguars, and I'm giving that a B. Moving on to the Raiders, who hired Pete Carroll. This is getting a B+. This is a pretty interesting move because Pete Carroll is not a name I expected to hear when talking about this year's head coaching cycle. But Pete Carroll, he is a good hire for the Raiders. He is a great coach, as he's one of 3 coaches to win a college football national championship as well as a Super Bowl, and he knows how to win. During his 14 years in Seattle, he had a record of 137, 89, and 1, and he had just 3 losing seasons. Now, obviously, age is a big factor here for the Raiders, as Pete Carroll is 73, and he will be the oldest coach in NFL history, so he probably won't be in Vegas for too long, but I do really like this hire for the Raiders. I think he is a great coach to get the Raiders heading in the right direction, and even though he is older, I'm still giving the Raiders a B+ for hiring Pete Carroll. Moving on to the Cowboys, who promoted their offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer. This is getting an F. This is an awful hire for the Cowboys. They had a very weird head coaching search. At first, it seemed like they might keep Mike McCarthy because they blocked him from interviewing with the Bears, just for them to fire him a few days later. Then their candidates were very interesting to say the least, with rumors of Jason Witten, Deion Sanders, and Kellen Moore, before they finally hired Brian Schottenheimer. But Brian Schottenheimer, he's been an NFL assistant for 21 years, and there's a reason he's never been a head coach. And he wasn't even being interviewed by other teams for other head coaching spots, so this makes no sense for the Cowboys. If they were going to hire Brian Schottenheimer, they should have just kept Mike McCarthy. But this is an awful move for the Cowboys. They get an F. Jerry Jones continues to have no idea what he's doing, and awful move for the Cowboys. And our final team is the Saints, who hired Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. So I'm giving this move a C+. The Saints, they waited a long time to hire a head coach, but it was probably because nobody wants this job. Because this is the Saints team with an old quarterback who's not very good in Derek Carr, and no cap space. But the Saints, they eventually hired Kellen Moore, and I think it's a decent move. Kellen Moore, he's been an offensive coordinator in the NFL for the last 6 seasons, and he's been one of the better offensive coordinators in the league, as his offenses have led the league in scoring twice. Now, Kellen Moore is another guy with no head coaching experience, but he could be decent for the Saints. The Saints definitely could have gotten someone better, but I just don't think they had a lot of interest considering how bad their situation is. Definitely could have been better than Kellen Moore, but he's probably the best they could have gotten considering their situation, and because of that, I'm giving the Saints a C+. But that is my opinion of every NFL head coaching hire and my grades for each hire. That's all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, turn notifications. I do my best to put as often as possible, and I will see you in the next video.